Okay, hello everybody. Good evening. Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
All right, great. Thank you, Hasmin, and welcome. Okay, so today we're going to continue. We're going to just take it exactly where we left it off the past Monday in which we started the course. But before we begin, is there anybody here who didn't connect the past Monday? Are there any new students? ¿Alguien aquí que no se haya conectado el día lunes de casualidad?
Me.
All right, so nice to meet you, Miss Maria. My name is Claudio Castro. I'm going to be your teacher for the next 5 weeks. So why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Do you study? Do you work? Why do you want a B1 certification?
Okay, my name is Maria Victoria. I'm 23 years old. I'm studying in the university, Catholic University, the career veterinarian. I need the certificate B1 to my title. I don't know.
To yours, sorry?
My title. El título?
You needed to graduate?
Yeah.
All right. And tell me, have you ever taken a Cambridge exam before?
Uh, One exam. Yeah.
You took a Cambridge exam, the B1,
Mm-hmm.
the A2, which one? The B1?
The big one, yeah.
How long ago was that? 2 years
Um,
ago, a year ago, the
a
last
year
month?
ago.
When?
A
All
year
right,
ago. Mm-hmm.
great. Okay, so, Monday we discussed several things about the exam that we really don't have that much time to explain today. But the good news to you is that the class was recorded, so I invite you to get up to schedule by watching the recording whenever you have time, okay? Is that all right,
Okay.
Maria?
Yeah, that's right.
Great. So welcome. So, okay, so because we cannot really be wasting any time, let's just jump right into it. But we're going to do something a bit different than we did on Monday, okay? Now, if you remember, the speaking exam has 3 parts. The interview, something we call the long term, and something we call the discussion, all right? Now, the interview is something that you do alone, okay? You get asked a few questions and you answer yourself without paying attention to what the other candidate is doing. But we are going to do something a bit different right now, okay? I'm going to ask you a question, okay? And then I'm going to ask another one of you to say if he or she agrees or disagrees, okay? So I need you to pay attention to what the other candidates are saying because I might ask you something about it, okay? And you're going to try to elaborate with whatever the other person answered. So for example, if I ask you, what is your favorite food? And you tell me, I love eating pizza because pizza is fantastic. I might ask you, well, and what do you think about eating pizza? And you need to try to work with what the other person just said, okay? So you need to pay attention because I'm going to be asking you things. I'm going to be asking you the same question that I asked the other candidate, okay? So let's try to make it snappy. Let's make it fast. And remember, if I interrupt you, that doesn't mean you did something wrong. It's just because we have a schedule to keep, okay? So don't feel bad if I ever interrupt you, okay? Take it as a good signal. All right, but before we begin, I left you with a few questions for you to read and think about a little bit, all right? Do you have any questions regarding what we did the last Monday or the questions I sent to you? Is there anything in your mind you would like me to answer before we start?
No.
All right, so if everything's all right, let's begin. So let's begin by talking with Angie. So tell me, Angie, what do you do on a typical Friday?
Good evening. I in a typical Friday, I try to prepare all the things that I need to do in my university. Some tapes, some I don't know, some prepares to explanations, positions, or something like this that I need to elaborate in my university, and I try to do this in on Fridays because I
All
don't have
right,
time at the weekends.
great. So how about you, Brittany? Do you also use Fridays to prepare for your chores, or do you have fun on Friday, Brittany? Are you there, Brittany? Can you hear me? How about Grace? Can you hear me, Grace?
Yes,
All right. So what do you do on Fridays? Do you also prepare your for your responsibilities like Angie, or you do things for fun on Friday? What do you do?
and my Friday's day is all day in my student with the classmates and um, going to my house and
And
with the
when
prepare
you
going
uh-huh.
going to in my house and with the prepared no prepared and my husband with the uh, dinner.
Okay. Great. You make dinner with your husband. All right.
Yes.
Now, one by the way, I'm going to be making small corrections about vocabulary you can be using better. So when we talk about you, Angie, use the word exposition. So in English, you know, this word exposition is not exactly the same that the one we use in Spanish. You want to say more like presentation, okay? Because an exposition is the place you go to look at art. So you can go to an exposition in a museum because maybe they are presenting some interesting art. But the thing you do in university where you have a topic and you discuss that topic on your own, we call that just a presentation, okay? So no exposition, but presentation. So I'm going to be making a small little commentary like that. All right, so Grace just told us that on our typical Friday for her, she basically spends all her Friday at her university, and on the evening, she makes dinner with her husband. How about you, Hasmin? Do you also make dinner for you and your family on Fridays?
Yes, we go to the restaurant with my family for generally on the weekend, spending time with my daughters and my husband. It's very special to share with them with they with them
With them.
with them because in the week is very hard for my husband and me for we job.
All right, I see. You have little time.
Yes.
And how about your holidays, Jasmine? What do you like doing on holidays?
Ride a bike, share with my family, travel the different places, the different cities. We like Cuenca too much. Cuenca is very nice for spending with my family in the Ecuador. Other place, the sea, for example, the beach is very relaxing for my family and share the best moments and the funny for my
All right,
daughters.
great. And what do you like best about Cuenca?
Oh, the cafeteria, Dos Chorreras, is very nice. It's great for the family. The different places in Cuenca are very amazing, wonderful. That city is the best of Ecuador for my
Great,
appreciation.
great. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing that with us. So, Marcos, Jasmine was just telling us about how much she loves Cuenca. Tell me about yourself. On your holidays, you prefer to go to the beach, or would you prefer a place like Cuenca, Marcos?
Yes, I prefer go to the beach because in holiday I prefer hot weather and spend time with my family in the beach.
All right. And what is it about hot weather that you like it so much?
Only in the beach because because in the beach the weather is not so hot, but is refreshing. O sea, is very
Okay.
beautiful stay here. But
All right, great.
but I prefer the cold weather in my city actually.
All right. How about you, Maria? Marcos just told us that on the everyday, he prefers a cold weather rather than a hot one. Do you feel the same way, Maria?
I agree with Carlos because I don't like the sun. I live here in Guayaquil, but I don't like the climate. I prefer the cold. When I was a kid, I lived in Santo Domingo, and I prefer the climate.
And how about going to the beach, Maria? Do you often go to the beach?
No, it's re- it's some days I go with my family, but I spend the time with them, but not in the sun. I hate the sun.
All right. And
Yeah.
how about you, Odalis? How do you feel about the sun? Do you also hate it as Maria does?
Yeah, I hate the sun because in Guayaquil the sun it's very strong, and this is hot today. Actually, in the winter season, the sun it's I don't think it's really strong. I feel the burn my skin.
All right. And tell me something. What is your idea of a perfect weekend, Odalis?
A perfect weekend. A perfect weekend is a day the work is so light, I think. And the day is the cloudy. That maybe it's a cloudy day. It's a better.
All right. How about Roger? Do you also like cloudy weekends?
No, I prefer going to the breakfast. After that, go to the shopping, go to the cinema with my friends, enjoy them together.
What kind of movies do you like to watch when you go to the cinema?
Um, uh, I prefer the terror movie because uh, um, I love the suspense. I love the terror.
Okay,
I like it.
great. By the way, in English, we don't say terror, we say horror. Okay, you
Horror.
like horror
Okay.
films.
Okay.
How about you, Angie? How do you feel about horror films? Do you also like them as Roger does?
No, I don't like the horror movies. I like to romantic movies because, and I don't know, I think that that's more real to horror movies. For me, no. And
All right.
I watch movies in my home, not cinema. I prefer to watch here in my home
Why do you prefer to watch movies at your place? Why?
because for me it's more comfortable here. And here I can prepare hamburgers or some drinks. And I don't know, I prefer my house and my home at the cinema because that's more I don't know, it's a place that we meet more people and you must to see the other person that
Okay,
you didn't know who
great.
is.
That's okay. By the way, to pronounce that word better, the word comfortable, the second O doesn't make any sound. So it's not comfortable. We say comfortable. It's like the second O is mute. It doesn't sound. All right. So tell me, Hasmin, how do you feel about what Angie just said about watching movies at home? Do you agree with that?
I agree, but I like, in my case, I like go to cinema with my family because it's different place because we see the different persons, the different places. Um, we eat popcorn, we eat cheesecake, and share with my family in that place. And the different cinema. Different, for example, the screen is very big, the sound is very hard, uh, fuerte, hard,
Loud,
sound,
loud, a
loud,
loud sound.
loud sound, yes. Um, it's my, I prefer, but stay at home, is very important also. Yes, I like, I see the movies in my house, but I like to go to cinema.
Now tell me something, Hasmin. Do you prefer to buy food outside or do you prefer homemade food?
Both. Depend the context. For example, when I very tired, I prefer buy the food. But when I relax, I I like the different place. I will go to the restaurant, or the different places when the different menus, the different
Yeah.
menus, the different meals. Depend the context.
How do you feel about that, Roger? Do you agree?
I agree with Jasmine because the eat outside, the food is very different, and sometimes um I go with my friends, I go with my family, enjoy together the food, and it's different activities what usually not do together.
All right. Now we were talking just a minute about the weather. Tell me, Roger, on a cold day, do you rather stay at home or do you prefer to go out?
In a cold day, I prefer staying in home, because it's the day perfect for sleeping for me, and watching TV, watching streams, watching movies. Uh, that
All right. Now tell me, Grace, do you agree with Roger?
Repeat, please.
Do you agree with Roger? Roger just said that on a cold day, he'd rather stay at home. Do you agree with that? On a cold day, do you prefer to stay at home or do you prefer to go out?
Okay, all right. I prefer for stay with my home and hold my food. It's more healthy.
All right, very good. Now let's talk about, we're going to change topic and now let's talk about technology, okay? Tell me, Grace, do you think that social media is good or is bad?
And with the social media is good, but is my with in university I study with marketing. And marketing ¿Cómo sería? Abarca.
Let's use a simple word. Involves, has to do with, marketing, uses, social
Ajá, okay.
media, involves social
Yes,
media.
involves in
Mhm.
social media. Yes.
All right. So overall, for Grace, social media is a good thing. How about for you, Maria?
I think it's good and bad. Depends because some person don't use the
Some
correct
people.
way. Equal, yes. Because some person don't use correct the social media, and other person use the correct form, and some person
Some
don't
people.
have some people don't have, for example, uh, a TV, in the phone they watch news or read some articles.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your birthday, Maria. Do you usually celebrate your birthday?
No, I don't like celebrate my birthday.
Why?
I don't know, but when I don't feel
Comfortable?
comfortable when some place are too much people, or
Too
person.
crowded?
Yeah, no, I don't like. So I don't like my
All right.
birthday. I don't like to celebrate.
How do you feel about that, Odalis?
My birthday. When so actually, I like my birthday. For example, the last my birthday, my friends, they prepared a party for me. It's a good day. They celebrate and drink and eat a delicious food. It's a great day.
And how do
And
you feel about crowded places, places with too many people? Do you agree with Maria?
the round of people. I don't like this with so many people. Just a little group. This easy for me.
All right. And how about you, Marcos? Do you like crowded places?
Yes, I agree with Odalis, because I I think that leader group of person is better for a birthday. For example, in my birthday, we eat ice cream and cakes and spend time with them.
All right, great, very good. So we were discussing some interesting ideas here. But now I want to do something different with you. I'm going to show you a picture. And I want you to tell me if I told you, if I gave you the instruction to please describe this picture to me, what kind of things do you think that you could say? If I tell you, describe this picture, what do you think you could say?
They are writing.
They are
Okay,
at the biblioteca. They are the
Library.
library.
library,
Yes.
yes. So we
They
can
are
talk about the
studying.
place. We can talk about what they are doing. What are they doing? What else we can say?
They are
The
exams.
place, what are they
They are
doing?
they are very concentrated in exam, for
We
example.
can talk about how they feel. Is there anything else we
Um,
could say?
They are very young. They are
Okay,
students,
we
university
can
students.
describe the people. We can talk about the things that we can see in the picture, right? We can say there are notebooks, there are many books.
Many books
So
and
in the,
tablets.
they are talk
They
about the
are
things.
travel.
So in this part of the test, this is what we call the long term. This is part 2 of the speaking exam. It is called, let me write it here, the long term. So a long term is like a mini speech that you need to give. You're going to be shown a picture just like this one, and you need to talk about the picture for about a minute on your own without any interruption, okay? Now, the pictures you're going to be shown are extremely similar to this. They show people doing everyday things like studying or cooking or perhaps playing an instrument, watching TV. You know, they show everyday actions and people doing them. So, what we want to do here is to be able to speak for the duration of the minute you are given in a fluent way and using interesting vocabulary. That's our mission. Now, there are several things we can talk about regarding this picture. As you mentioned, we can talk about where they are. We can talk about what are they doing, how they feel. We can describe them physically or what might they be coming from. We can talk about the things that we can see in the picture. But a key thing to understand here is that in this task, you are supposed to speculate, okay? You are supposed to take guesses and make inferences about why these people might be doing the things they are doing. So this is the advice for this second part of the speaking exam. When you're given this picture to describe it, you're just not going to talk about what you literally see. You are going to try to speculate on the things you cannot see. For example, when I told you to please describe this picture to me, has been mentioned that they seem to be studying for a test. We really don't know that. That's just a guess we are taking. And that's exactly what we need to do. So in this part of the exam, let me just try to move this a little lower. It's about speculation. You're going to speculate about the picture, and that's the best way to be able to speak for a whole minute without any interruption, okay? So let's talk about vocabulary, connectors we can use when we want to speculate, okay? When you are going to talk about something, you are just guessing, and you are not sure if it is true or not. What can you say to indicate that? How can you say that what you're saying might not be true? What do you see? What do you say when you are giving your opinion about something? When you are taking guesses, what do you say when you speculate? Similar phrases to, for example, in my opinion, can you think of phrases similar to this one? In my opinion, what else we could say?
Think,
I think.
I think.
believe,
Sorry, can you repeat? I believe.
I
You say
believe,
that?
I suppose.
I believe, I suppose. I suppose. And I'm going to add a few ones here so that you can write them. We can also say, it seems that, for example, it seems that they are students and they are studying for an exam. All right, we can say that. Or we can also say, it could be that, and instead of saying could, we can also say it may be, it might be that. So these are linking phrases that indicate a speculation. Linking phrases to signal that you are about to speculate, that you are about to take guesses. Once again, if you try to speak for 1 minute about what you literally see in the picture, you are going to find that you ran out of ideas in just 20 seconds. If you want to be able to speak for the whole minute, you need to try to interpret the picture, okay? So it's not so much describing the picture as it is interpreting the situation. That's what we want to do. if we try to interpret the situation, like find a narrative to what is happening there, you're going to be having more ideas to things you can say in the minute, and you're going to be forcing yourself to use more interesting vocabulary. So we want to take guesses. No es solo acerca de describir la foto, estamos especulando, estamos interpretándola. No lo que literalmente está pasando, sino el por qué esta gente está haciendo esto, cuál podría ser la relación entre estas personas, cómo se podrían estar sintiendo. Answering that kind of questions is going to force you to use more interesting vocabulary, and you are going to be able to speak for a minute easier, okay? Now, after we start our observations with phrases like these, everything that happens afterwards, you can just treat it as if you were answering a question from the interview. So you say, for example, you say your piece, and then, for example, you say, I suppose, and then you elaborate. I suppose, then you make your observation, and then you try to justify it by using because or using since or due to, you know, phrases that indicate that you're about to talk about the reason for something, okay? Now, remember, do not always use the word because. There are similar words to because. Try to experiment with them. You can also say since, which is like saying ya que, because, right? You can also say due to. Those are phrases that you can use so that you are not saying because all the time. And you can also give examples. So you can continue by, for example, if you think is necessary, or you can just leave it with the because and continue with your next observation. So Jasmine has a question. Tell me, Jasmine.
Yes. Because it's the same since. It's the same.
Yes. The word
Okay.
since can be a time preposition. As a preposition of time is not the same as because. Maybe that's the since that you are thinking about. But the word since can also be a conjunction. And as a conjunction, since and because mean the same. Okay, you can interchange them. So yes, they mean the same thing. Repito, la palabra since puede ser una preposición de tiempo, que así es como probablemente la conozcan desde, por ejemplo, yo vivo en Ecuador desde el 2018. I've lived in Ecuador since 2018. Pero la palabra since también puede ser una conjunción, que es como decir ya que, ¿ok? I like pizza since cheese is very tasty, all right? You can do that. So try to use words, other words than because. Let me show you more. Porque la clave es que los conectores que usamos, ¿verdad? No los repitamos, ¿ok? Como nosotros vamos a estar en el examen justificando nuestra respuesta mucho con el objetivo de poder hablar más, vamos a intentar usar otros conectores que no sean because para no estar diciendo because todo el tiempo. Entonces, vamos a poner voy a ponerles acá, en un segundo. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So here are a few conjunctions that you can use instead of because if you want to talk about reason. Okay, so give me 1 second. All right. So try to experiment with them and feel comfortable with them because you don't want to be repeating your words too often. You want to use different words. And because we're going to be using connectors a lot, you need to know a lot about connectors. So here is my piece. So these are words that you can use instead of because in any context. For example, since, you can also say as, all right? These are connectors that you can use in a more formal form of communication. You can use this. We are going to use this for the writing exam. Or you can use seen that or given that, which are more conversational. You can use this for the speaking exam, okay? So try to experiment with all of these conjunctions so that you are not saying because all the time. So you're going to write them and try to, after you say because, the next time that you want to say it, try to say as, or try to say seen that, or try to say since, or try to say given that, so that you are not always using the same word, all right? So copy those conjunctions. We're going to be learning a lot about conjunctions because those are really important for the exam. So copy those and let's do a small little practice with our picture, all right? So, summarizing. In the long term, en la parte 2 del speaking exam, tú vas a hablar por un minuto acerca de una imagen y recuerda, no se trata de que describas literalmente lo que ves. No pierdas tiempo hablando de hay un libro y al lado del libro hay un vaso y abajo del vaso hay una mesa, porque eso sería chévere si esto fuera un examen A1, pero no es A1, ¿verdad? Es B1. Entonces, para usar vocabulario más interesante, la clave es, en lugar de describir la imagen, voy a intentar interpretarla. Y eso me va a forzar a usar vocabulario más complejo, porque voy a requerir usar ideas abstractas y me va a ayudar a tener más cosas que decir, porque las imágenes son bastante simples. Ya ustedes vieron un ejemplo. Si yo hablo de lo que está literalmente allí, en 20 segundos ya me voy a quedar sin cosas que decir y no me conviene. Yo quiero hablar por el completo minuto para mostrar todo el inglés que sé. Entonces, so that you always know what to say, here is an idea of the questions that you could answer, okay? You could answer, if you don't know what to say, think about the following questions. Think about how the people in the picture are feeling and why. Try to speculate. Think about who are these people? And why do I think that? These people are students, they are workers, they are friends, they are family. There are always things you can speculate on. You can think about, why are they here? You can also think about, why are they doing this? So if you ever feel that you don't know what else to say, think about any of those 4 questions and try to answer them, okay? Once again, try to speculate. Try to use your imagination to find the solution for any of those questions. So let me give you an example. ¿Puedo cerrar aquí esto? ¿Están tomando nota? ¿Puedo quitarlo? Si no me dicen nada, lo voy a quitar. ¿Todo bien? ¿Sí? Vamos a quitarlo entonces. All right, so let me give you an example. So in the exam, they are going to put this picture. They are going to give this picture to me. And the examiner is just going to say, in this part of the exam, you're going to talk about something on your own for about a minute. And then they're going to show me a picture. This picture shows people studying. Tell me something about the picture. And then I'm going to be given 1 minute to talk about it. So once again, I'm not going to be going over the things. I'm not going to say, well, there is a guy that has a blue shirt and this guy has a notebook and it has a pen. There are a lot of books behind them. No, I'm going to talk about the situation and try to give an interpretation to it, using the vocabulary to highlight that I'm just speculating. So I'm going to say something like, it seems that these people are college students because they look young and they seem to be in a library. They seem to be concentrated and focused because they might be studying for an exam. Maybe they are working on a group project that they need to present, and that's why they look so focused. I think that these people are college students because they look old enough to be But maybe they are just doing another type of job, which is not related to college. Maybe they are actually doctorate students. Now, so that's what you need to do. Try to always speculate and do not talk about the little things that you see, okay? So the best way to learn this is by practicing and me giving you feedback. So I'm going to show you a few more pictures. You are not going to have time to prepare. You need to be able to just talk at the top of your mind because in the real exam, you're not given time to prepare. But before we do that, you do have the chance to ask me questions if there is something you don't understand. So tell me, if there's something you don't understand about this task, something you're curious about perhaps, una pregunta o curiosidad acerca de la parte 2 antes de empezar a practicar. Okay, tell me, Angie.
So can you repeat the phrases that we use to speculate? So there are, we have, I think, I suppose to, it seems, what something else.
All right, let me write it right here. 1 second. Let me close this thing right here.
We can use it can be.
Yes, let me show you a few. 1 second. Okay, so give me 1 second. I'm going to give you a more complete list I have right here. Okay. Okay, so these are a few that you could use. I believe, I'm quite sure that, I'm convinced that, I have a feeling that. So you don't have to learn them all, but try to play with them and try to see with which ones do you feel more comfortable speaking. Try to find your own voice. So you're going to try to experiment with them and try to see which ones feel more natural to you, okay? There are many ways to do this. We just need just a handful, okay? A few. But this is an example of the things that you could say to start your observations. So ideally, everything you say is going to be preceded by one of these phrases. And you should know enough of them so that you never repeat the same one. That's the key. You are never going to repeat the same connector twice, okay? I'm going to give you 1 more minute to take notes if you need to before we start the practice. All right? That good? Do you need more time? It's all set? Are we done? All right, so I'm going to stop sharing. All right, it's done now. Okay, so now let's go one by one and let's try to do this, okay? So sometimes the problem people have is that they are not able to speak for the whole minute because they don't know what to say. Well, we already solved that by me giving you the questions you could answer. Just think about those questions. And if you still don't know what to say, well, then, after you are speculated, You can try to talk about the other things, what you see, the place, you know, the other things. Another problem you may have is that your fluency is not really that good, so you spend a lot of time doing a lot of, you know, thinking. We are going to try to correct that, okay? But let's just go step by step. So I'm going to show you the first one. So this one is going to be for, so is there anyone who would like to start? Or do you want me to leave it at just, or should we do it random? Is there anyone who would like to start? All right, so let's do it randomly then. Let's begin with Mr. Marcos, okay? Can you hear me, Marcos?
Yes.
All right, so you are going to talk about something for about a minute. This is your picture. It shows somebody browsing the internet, all right? So please, Marcos, tell me something about this picture.
Okay, I believe she has working a project with the university, but maybe she she but maybe she writing with another person because she is in the house. Uh,
How do you think that she feels?
I think she feels exciting because she is smile and have a pain of mouth.
Okay.
Um,
And who is she? She,
in my opinion, I think she is a student of university.
all right, great. And that's good enough. So that's about a minute. So as you can see, when we try to speak about something for a bit longer than we should, we start with a then we make those pauses, which are really bad for us. So remember, there are several things you can say. You are not required to really go deep into any particular aspect of the picture. If you already responded and you feel that you're getting stuck, just go to the next topic and try to address the next question of those I gave you. Because as I was able to demonstrate, one second. As I was able to demonstrate, you actually did know what to say. You just got stuck because you wanted to speak a little bit more about that particular idea. Entonces, cuando te trabaste, no es porque ya no podías decir más nada, porque a lo que te pregunté en las otras preguntas, tú pudiste seguir hablando sin problema, ¿no? Entonces, eso es para demostrarles que sí es posible hablar un minuto con total fluidez, siempre y cuando, ¿verdad? Yo identifique o cuando yo sienta que me estoy trabando, sea capaz de yo mismo saltar a la siguiente pregunta. Cada vez que Marcos se estaba como que quedando un poquito, yo le hice la pregunta y ahí inmediatamente él retomó. Significa que sí hay cosas que podemos seguir diciendo de la imagen. Entonces traten de no enfrascarse en una. Si sienten que ya respondieron, pasen a la siguiente alternativa. Ya yo les di muchas ideas de cosas que podrían decir. Okay, but in general, we were able to address the task. Perfect. Muy bien. Por cierto, en el examen de verdad, el examinador, el trabajo del examinador es como facilitarle la actividad a ustedes. En ese sentido, si en el examen de verdad usted se queda trabado, sí, el examinador también va a intentar ayudarle haciéndole preguntas adicionales, ¿ok? Así que no, a pesar de que como es un examen, todo esto es con tiempo, hay todo un proceso formal para inscribirse, ¿verdad? Te piden la cédula, otro poco de cosas. Eso hace que el examen se sienta un poquito hostil. Todos los exámenes son hostiles, todos nosotros hemos estudiado, ¿verdad? Y los exámenes son un poco un ambiente hostil, es como 1 2 horas que definen muchas cosas en nuestra vida, ¿verdad? Entonces, el examen de speaking o está diseñado reconociendo ese nivel de hostilidad que suele haber en los exámenes y los examinadores están allí para intentar como que ayudarle a usted, ¿ok? Si está nervioso, le van a intentar hacer más preguntas, así que no piense que es como que, ay, me quedé trabado, me fregué. No, siempre el examinador va a intentar ayudarles a que sigan adelante. Pero usted también ayúdele y tenga en consideración lo que yo les dije, todas las cosas que puede escribir de las imágenes. Muy bien. So we were able to just reach the minute without any issue there. So let me change the picture. Now let's go with the next one. And this one is going to be for Odalis. Are you there, Odalis? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so you're going to talk about this picture for about a minute on your own. This picture shows some kids outside playing outdoors, okay? So, Odalis, I would like you to please describe this picture to me, okay? So please, you can start now.
Okay. I suppose this park is it's a big park. The kids play the basketball in the afternoon day. I think this yeah, this may be at afternoon day. So the kids almost done the school and need to relaxing and use the basketball game for it's a mod for relaxing. Mm, yeah.
Who are they? Do you think they are friends? Are they family?
I suppose with other friends. It's a different type for kids. It's so tall, it's short.
All right. And how do you think they feel?
I feel too nostalgic.
Why?
This this a cute song for remember my childhood. We I play with my the school friends after class.
And why might have chosen this location?
I found the location. This location is a park in the park near the woods.
And why are they here specifically?
It is specific. I think this. It's not why I killed the is the right. I suppose it used it. It was
Okay,
similar.
great. Okay, so once again, the same thing. We need to try to be a bit more snappy and be able to continue saying things so that we don't get stuck. Another thing you could do, which is something Odalis did, if you feel that you exhausted every other of the options of things you could talk about, you can also talk about yourself a little bit. Relate yourself to what you are looking at. Odalis, for example, told us about how this picture make her feel nostalgic because it makes her remember when she was playing like this with her friends. So you can also talk about how you feel in relationship to the picture. That's something that you can also do if you want to talk a little bit more. You can put yourself in the picture and, you can talk about any experience which might be relevant to the situation we have at hand, okay? Now let's move now with Roger. Can you hear me, Roger? Are you
Yes,
there, Roger?
yes.
All right, so I'm going to show you your picture. 1 second. Okay, and you're going to talk about this for about a minute. So your picture shows people paying for things, okay? So this is your picture. I'm going to give you 1 minute to talk about it, and that minute begins now. So please go on.
Yes. In my opinion, uh, they are buying food. Um, I think the food is healthy because I see bananas and vegetables, fruits. Um, they are in a um, um, cafeteria.
Okay.
Probably in the school, in the university. They are younger um, people. The girl on the left is blonde. The boy, bueno, the girl on the right, your hair is black.
And do you think they are college students? They are co-workers? What is the relationship between them?
Um, um, I think co-workers.
Why?
Um, because the clothes is similar.
And
Uh,
how do
um,
you think they feel right now?
I see they feel happy uh, because go to the eat maybe in the afternoon um, after the work.
All right, great. Thank you, Roger. That's good enough. That's it. Okay, now let's stop sharing here. And now let's go with Miss Grace. Can you hear me, Grace? Are you there with me?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to show you a picture and you are going to talk about this picture for about a minute. So here it is. Your picture shows a family doing housework, okay? So I'm going to give you 1 minute for you to talk about it and your minute begins now. So please, Grace, tell us something about the picture.
Right. In my opinion, this picture um show a family working together in the kitchen. I think the father is teaching his two sons how to wash the dishes. I believe I believe the boy in the blue shirts is enjoying this activity or that activity. And the boy in the green shirt looks little como entusiasta.
Let's
Okay,
try to look for a similar word.
okay, I suppose they are helping with the share after the meal.
And how do you think the mom in the background of the picture is feeling?
Yes, I can see a woman in the background, probably the mother smiling, probably in the mother smiling.
Okay. And how about you, Grace? Do you like to do the dishes?
Yes, I like it.
Why?
With my relax with the try the dishes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Grace. That was wonderful. Okay, don't remember to try to always justify your observations for two reasons. The first one is that when you try to explain your ideas, you are putting yourself in a position in which you need to use a more advanced vocabulary because to explain your ideas involves abstract thinking, so you are going to be required to use more complex vocabulary. And other reason is because in that way, you are forcing yourself to use connectors. Connectors are important for this exam. They are important in the writing exam. They are important in the speaking exam. Connectors are phrases like, for example, because. So by explaining yourself, that's basically an opportunity for you to say because and words similar to that. Don't forget that there are other words besides because that you can use. So if they ask you why, start by saying because. It's a good opportunity for you to use connectors. And connectors are important for reasons that you're going to understand later, okay? But don't forget to also use because, since, the words I just showed you. Now, next up, we have Jasmine. Can you hear me, Jasmine?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, so you are going to talk about something on your own for about a minute. Now, you are going to look at a picture of people doing an outdoor activity. So here's your picture. So you're going to be able to talk about it for a minute, and your minute begins now. So please, Jasmine, describe the picture to us.
I suppose they practice riding a bike. This place is very amazing. The mountains are very big. Three peoples riding a bike are they are very prepared for this sport. This sport is very hard. The trees or the mountain are very wonderful, are very high. I can see three peoples, but I can see the first person is adult, but the second person is a child. I suppose the three person I can see, but I suppose is adult. They are very prepared for these sports. Deportes, deportistas de élite.
Okay, you can say elite sport, professional sport.
Professional sports. It's very hard that the sports. I can this sport.
Now tell me, Jasmine, if it is so difficult, why do you think that they do it?
Repeat the question, please.
Why do you think they are doing this?
¿Por qué lo hacen? Porque yo pienso que, because it's very exciting for they. Riding a bike is in that conditions in the mountain is very exciting for they. I don't know, but in my case, never I can ride a bike in the mountain. I suppose they are very prepared, too much prepared for that situation, and the experience is very important for this sport, and
Very
they
good.
prepared.
Great, thank you. That's good enough. Now, remember, don't forget about your object pronouns. After a preposition, such as for, with, about, we use the object pronoun. We don't say for they, we say, it's not for they, it's for
Them.
It's not for I, it's for me. It's not for he, it's for him.
Him.
It's not for they, it's for
Them.
What's the object pronoun?
Them.
Them.
Them. For them, okay? Not for they, not with they, for them, with them, okay? We might be able to do a little review of that. Remember, we have subject pronouns, we have object pronouns, so be careful with those. Now, let's go to the next picture. So this time around is going to be Maria's turn. Are you there, Maria? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to look for your picture. Okay,
Okay.
your picture is going to show some people at the beach. 1 second. All right, so this is your picture. It shows people spending their time at the beach. You're going to talk about it for about a minute. So tell us what's on your mind. Please
Uh,
talk about the picture.
I see in the middle family. There are a family for 5 persons. Three persons are kids, two boys and one girl, and the father and mother. And they are happy. They are ride a horse. Then spend time, uh, family time. They are ride the horse in the beach. Um, and I think is the climate. It's cold because the family have sweater. Um, mm, there I don't know. There have a house in the beach, and there are have the
Why do you
horse.
think that they choose this location to do this?
Because I think one of the kids love ride the horse in the beach, or the landscape, see landscape. So very interesting for the kids.
All
Um,
right, great. That's good enough. That's your minute. Thank you, Maria. That was great. So we have, tell me, are you going to be able to speak today, Brittany? Or you're just going to pass on this? Are you there?
Yes.
I know you feel a little sick, but we need to practice. So let's make an effort. I'm going to show you a picture and you are going to describe it, okay? So give me 1 second. And this is going to be your picture, Brittany. By the way, el resto de ustedes que en ese momento no estén hablando, recuerden también prestar atención a lo que sus compañeros dicen de manera crítica y piensen, ¿qué pude haber dicho yo diferente? ¿Qué otras cosas pude haber dicho yo? Hay que igual uno aprende también viendo a los demás hacer, ¿no? Entonces no es nada más esperar a que me toque y decir, yo tengo que ver también de manera crítica lo que los otros hacen y a lo mejor se me ocurre alguna duda que yo tenga. So tell me, Brittany, this is your picture. It shows a girl in her bedroom. Please, Brittany, tell us something about the picture.
Yes, in this picture, I can see a girl, maybe um, 12 years old. She's Maria, and Maria putting away her notebooks to go to school, maybe, um, or class on vacations. And
How do you think that she feels? Is she
she
happy? Is
feels
she sad? How does she feel?
she's a hurry, maybe. Uh,
How
uh,
about you? How do you feel when you are getting ready for school? How do you feel when you get ready for school? Do you think it's a stressful situation? Is it
she's not
relaxing to
ready
you?
for school. She's
Sorry?
late for school.
Okay. Now, tell me something about the place where she is. What is this place?
Place is Esther stays from home.
Mhm.
at bedroom.
Why do you think she's there? Why do you think she's on the stairs? Do you think she's comfortable there? Or do you think she might be a bit more comfortable in other place? All right. Are you still there with me, Brittany? That's good enough. So, if we run out of ideas, si ya no se nos ocurre qué más decir, ahí sí, ¿verdad? Y aún tenemos tiempo, ahí sí podemos hablar de las cosas, ¿no? Podemos ahora hablar de todos los objetos que veo, describir a las personas, tipo, she has a red sweater, she has jeans, she has long hair, she's brunette, she is in a place of her house with the stairs. In the background, there are some drawers. I can see there is a sweater hanging on a pin next to the door. Solo con el objetivo de hablar un poquito más. Entonces, si ustedes sienten que ya agotaron todas las opciones, pero ven que el examinador no pasa a la siguiente parte, que le está dando chance todavía de que hablen, ahí sí pueden tal vez hablar un poco de las cosas que ven, hacer observaciones un poco más simples para completar y mostrar un poco más su vocabulario, ¿ok? La idea es hacerlo lo más natural posible. Recuerden, no se trata de que ustedes hagan esto con un guión. Si sienten que está en un callejón sin salida, bueno, hable de otra cosa. Siempre va a haber otra cosa que vamos a poder decir de la imagen. Now, we only have Angie left. Can you hear me, Angie?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to show you a picture that shows several people doing something together. Here it is. You have a picture of several people doing something together. So I'm going to give you 1 minute for you to talk about it on your own. So please, Angie, tell us something about this picture.
So it might be that the birthday of the boy that use a brown t-shirt. So I think that is they are him family. So I don't know what is this. So I think that he prepares a cake or a taco. So I think that is a traditional Mexican family. And he cooks some tomatoes, and next to him, I don't know, maybe he is his father, and in this case, he wants to spend his time with his family. I don't know. I think that it can be a dinner or yeah. So I think that
Tell me something, Angie. Do you ever do something similar to this with your family?
No, I didn't do that in my family because in my case, so we try to get out a restaurant or some places that we didn't know. So for these cases, I think that it can be a birthday or a dinner or so. But I think that he wants to spend his time with his family.
All right, very good. Thank you, Angie. That was great. Okay, so far and during this first round, I think you all did reasonably well. By the end of the next Friday, I'm going to be able to give you like a little score so you have an idea of where you stand regarding speaking. But right now, I want to show you, let's address some additional vocabulary that might be useful for this task, okay? So sometimes in this task, we want to talk about a particular person or object in a particular place of the picture. So how can we easily address in which position of the picture that thing we want to talk about is? Well, we can use this vocabulary. Give me 1 second. So whenever we are trying to locate something on the picture, we use the preposition on, okay? So if it is, we can say on the center of the picture. And besides the center, what other parts do we have? We have on the top of the picture, on the left side of the picture, on the bottom of the picture, top, bottom, left side, the right side of the picture. We have the foreground, on the foreground of the picture. The foreground es lo que está delante, ¿no? Y lo que está detrás, on the background of the picture, I can see what it seems to be a landscape. I don't know. And we also have corners. On the corner, y cuando hablamos de las corners, ¿verdad? Podemos decir, por ejemplo, the top left corner, esquina superior izquierda, ¿verdad? On the bottom right corner, esquina inferior derecha. Primero digo si es arriba o abajo, después si es izquierda o derecha, cuando quiero hablar de las esquinas. Entonces también es útil, recordar esas palabras, pues a veces nosotros queremos decir dónde están alguna persona o cosa particular que nosotros hablemos de la foto, ¿verdad? Sin, usando la ubicación de dónde está en la imagen, ¿ok? Entonces este vocabulario que podría ser útil. Ok, bueno, acerca de la fluidez, creo que eso es un punto que tenemos bien allí, la fluidez, solo falta como mejorar un poquito la precisión gramatical que vamos a ir haciendo poco a poco. But right now, I would like to show you the real deal, okay? I want to show you the real Cambridge speaking experience. So I'm going to show you a little video. It is possible that some of you might have already watched it. In any case, let's watch it together now, knowing a little bit more about the context. And you might have some questions that you would like me to answer, okay? So let me show you the Cambridge exam. But before we do that, in this first round of practice we did, do you have any questions so far? No questions? Everything clear? Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. So I'm going to show you a video of a real Cambridge B1 speaking exam, which is on the Cambridge YouTube channel. I'm going to send you the link in a while. You can watch more videos like those there. So, okay, let's watch it. I want you to pay attention to the different stages of the exam, the kind of questions that the examiner asks, the way the candidates answer, okay? And take a look at the setting of the exam itself, all right? So let's go right into it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I have your mark sheets?
So as you can see, as I already anticipated that the setting was going to be, these two candidates, they are not alone. The exam is always given in pairs, with the rare exception that day there is an odd number of candidates, número impar de candidatos, in which case there's always one group of 3 people, okay? But in general, there is 2 people in the exam at the same time, okay? And we have 2 examiners. The examiner who is sitting with them in the table, that's the interlocutor, okay? That's the one who asks the questions. And we have another examiner right there in the back, that lady there in the other table, which is further away. That's the assessor. That's the one who's going to be listening, okay? Now, let's take a look at to see where this goes.
Please. Here you are. I'm Susan Watson, and this is Rada Roy Chowdhury. What's your name?
My name is Kenza.
Where do you come from?
I'm from Algeria.
Thank you. And what's your name?
My name is Mohammed.
Where do you come from?
From Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. Mohammed, do you work or are you a student?
I work in a Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Thank you. And Kenza, do you work or are you a student?
I was a student, but I had finished at the university.
What do you do?
Now I have my own salon beauty.
Thank you. Do you think that English will be useful for you in the future?
Yes, I think that English is the most useful language in all the world because it permits us to achieve our objectives and to go further than we think.
Tell us about the people you live with.
I live with my family in my country, and we have neighbors, and some of them are cousin of us, of me, yeah.
Kenza, how do you get to work every day?
I generally get to work by car.
What did you do yesterday evening, Mohammed?
I've been gathering with my friends, and we go into one Middle East restaurant here in Cambridge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the end of the first part, which is the interview. As I mentioned yesterday, the interview is going to be the shortest part of the exam. It's just meant to be like a little warm-up, okay? So that you get comfortable before the more difficult task of the exam begin. Now, that doesn't mean that whatever you do right in the interview does not count. It does count. So by all means, try to answer those questions in the best possible way. As you can see, sometimes these students, in particular, Kenza, made an effort to speak a little bit longer, whilst Mohammed kept his answers a bit more on the shorter side. Try to always explain your position. My answer, and then I say because, or I say for example, or I do both. Try to speak for as much as possible and as long as it makes sense, okay? Now, as you can see, the type of questions that the examiner asks were everyday questions about the place where they live, what do they do, what they think about the activities that they do. So pretty much exactly what the kind of questions that we addressed, for example, yesterday. Now, let's watch what happens in part 2.
Now, I'd like each of you to talk on your own about something. I'm going to give each of you a photograph, and I'd like you to talk about it. Kenza, here's your photograph. It shows someone getting information about something. Mohammed, you just listen. Kenza, please tell us what you can see in the photograph.
I can see a lady which is maybe connecting on a laptop and reading on a book. He is normally in a library, or I don't think she is at home. Maybe she is preparing for an exam, for getting more information. Maybe she is revising. That's it.
Talk about the place.
Now, notice that she is focusing on speculating. She's using a lot of maybes, I don't think. Something that we could improve, algo que podría mejorar, is use different phrases than maybe. Cambiar el maybe por it seems, it could be, in my opinion. Y como se dan cuenta, habló un poquito nomás y ahí como que se quedó. Entonces la examinadora aquí le va a ayudar preguntándole un poco más para que ella tenga más cosas de qué hablar. Como les digo, no es como que se quedaron trabados y hasta ahí llegaron, ¿no? El examinador va a intentar ayudarles que hablen por el minuto completo, pero ustedes también deben ayudar al examinador, ¿no? Vamos a ver qué dice Kenza.
I can see that she is in a library. There are a lot of books and she is sitting alone. As I said before, she is maybe revising or preparing for an exam or presentation or...
Thank you. Mohammed, here is your photograph. It shows someone relaxing at home. Kenza, you just listen. Mohammed, please tell us what you can see in the photograph.
Yeah, I see one man, he's relaxing in his sofa and he left his mobile on the floor because he didn't want to distract by his mobile. And maybe he's a musician because there is one guitar just next to him. And maybe he just come from outside and he didn't take out his clothes. He just start to read and having one cup of tea and relaxing in his home. And maybe he's live alone because there's no one with him and his home is very tidy. There's no toys for his children or something. That's really maybe he live alone in his flat. And I think that the weather outside is cold because he didn't even...
Thank you.
Ok, aquí pasó lo contrario, ¿no? Mohamed no se quedó como que trabado. Él pudo seguir. Es más, la examinadora tuvo que interrumpirle, lo cual significa que usó el minuto para lo que tenía que usarlo de manera efectiva. ¿Qué diferencia hay en la manera en la que describió Mohamed a Kenza? ¿Qué dirían ustedes que es diferente? What's the difference?
The vocabulary, the speed of the speaking. The speed of speaking is more fast. The security, the skill blends, the vocabulary fluido.
Okay. Puede ser, yo creo que en una primera, a first impression, it may give that impression that he has more vocabulary, but that's a deception. That's not really what happened. He seems to have more vocabulary because he spoke more, okay? And I think that the main difference between what Mohammed did and what Kenza did is that Mohammed was a bit more creative in his speculations, okay? He was able to speak a little bit more because he was able to interpret more things about the picture, whilst Kenza just gave up. But I don't think that vocabulary was an issue. I think that Kenza has enough vocabulary to do her task. I think that he just needed a bit more imagination to find things to describe about the picture. I think she gave up too easy, okay? So when we have things to say, we give the impression that we are more fluent. We give the impression that we have more vocabulary. But considering what Kenza did before, I don't think that vocabulary is really a problem for Kenza. I think that she might just try to be a bit more creative with her observations, so she was able to use her vocabulary a bit better, okay? Entonces, tell me, Jasmine.
I think Kenza is very nervous. Kenza, no.
It might also be.
Yes, cross her arms. It's not good. Kenza cross her arms in the interview. It's not good.
It might be because as I discussed before, an exam is like a hostile, exams are always hostile, right? They are like a hostile setting and you can feel nervous. but you need to find a way around that issue. So what I would advise you to do is try to be creative. Try to have fun with the picture you're describing. Try to make up a story. Try to put characters in the story. Notice that Mohammed even talk about the possibility of this person not having children because he wasn't able to see any toys on the floor. So he's taking his speculation further apart, like he's taking them to another level, okay? So try to be imaginative, try to be creative, and don't feel too constrained in the picture, okay? Just try to immerse in the story you are telling and try to find details to say. But yes, it takes work. It's easier to say than to do it. And that's why we're going to be having a lot of time to practice. But I think that the best thing I can say, well, we're going to learn step by step about how we can handle our feelings. If we feel nervous, how can we use that in our favor? But right now, my advice is try to be really creative with the things you say about the picture. If you're able to do that, you're always going to have things to say. Because once again, by the way, they all did right, okay? Do not think that Kenza did wrong. No, it's just that she could have do it. She could have done it even better, okay? But both of them, in this exam that was recorded, they both were able to get a big one with a high mark, okay? So if you think that you can do it like any of these two did, then getting the B2 should not be a problem to you because these two people got B1 with a high mark, okay? Now, is there anything that catch your attention for this long term of Mohammed and Kenza? Is there something you would like to point out? Okay, so now what I want you to do, I'm going to show you the rest of the exam, okay? I'm not going to tell you what the next stage of this exam is about. You are going to try to notice on your own because of the instructions of the examiner, because of what they do. You're going to try to figure out what exactly is happening and what exactly is it that they need to do and what makes the last part different from the other two. Because there is one key difference between part 3 and parts 1 and 2, okay? So let's take a look at the next part of the exam.
Now, in this part of the test, you're going to talk about something together for about 2 minutes. I'm going to describe a situation to you. A local football club is celebrating its 50th anniversary and wants to give its fans a gift. Here are some gifts the club could give. Talk together about the different things it could give and decide which the fans would like best. All right? Now talk together.
I think the calendar is perfect, or the t-shirt, because for me the calendar, I can see my club every day. When I just check in the date, I can see my club, and they are enjoying by the 5th anniversary or 5th established for their club.
I think the t-shirt is the best idea. So if he had the t-shirt with him, he can always remember the team.
Yeah. But sometimes you can't wear the same t-shirt every day.
But at least you have it at home and you can see it, even if you don't wear it.
Yeah. And for this football, I think no, because I can't play football every day. If there is some students or from their fans, they can't play and keeping away from their studying or something.
I think it would be a good idea for the balloon football.
Yeah. For this pair, no, because or if they have a lot of children and from their fans, they can give it to their children.
Yes.
For book or
For
album. I think it's album for pictures.
For pictures, yes.
Yes, it would be nice.
So that he can put all her pictures in this album, and
Yeah.
he can watch pictures whatever he wants.
Yeah, and you keep remembering your team
good.
by the cover. It's amazing.
Yes.
What about this bag? What do you think about this bag?
I don't think that it's a good idea.
But it's useful nowadays. You can use it for going to school or for going to the gym. You can put your tools.
But
Thank
to
you.
give an
Ok, entonces la parte 3 se divide como en subetapas. Esta fue la primera. Ahora díganme ustedes, ¿cuál es la diferencia principal entre esta parte del examen y las anteriores?
Teamwork, trabajo en equipo. Hay interaction in the two persons, and they create the
Okay.
story about the images.
Do you agree with that, Marcos? Did you also saw that? Did you also see that?
Yes, they are discuting about picture, about the club fans, about the in general of the picture, and Mohamed help Akensa when she don't speak very much.
All right. So that's something really interesting that you mentioned there, Marcus. A really good observation. Do you agree with that, Odalis? Do you think that they were competing, or do you think that they were collaborating with each other, Odalis?
I think this is a good idea. For this is possible to have a good conversation and demonstrate the using of vocabulary and the fluency on speaking.
Okay, you mentioned something important there, conversation. Conversation, collaboration, teamwork, said Hasmin. Yes, this part is, you are simulating a conversation. So that the Cambridge exam is trying to assess how well can you communicate with other English speakers, okay? Not only with native speakers, but also with different speakers with different backgrounds. So in this part of the exam, the interaction is not going to be with the examiner. So in part 1, you were answering questions. So the information only went in one way. In the long term, once again, it's just you talking, but in this case, you don't even have any questions. Now in here, this is supposed to simulate a conversation. And at the end, you also mentioned that they were presented with this situation, right? Now, this task is about solving a problem together, okay? If you notice, the problem is presented by the examiner at the beginning of part 3. She presents a situation. Let's hear it again.
A local football club is celebrating its 50th anniversary and wants to give its fans a gift.
That's the problem. That's the situation you want to solve together. There is a football club that is celebrating an anniversary and cannot decide which of these will be a better gift to give to their fans.
Here are some gifts the club could give. Talk together about the different things it could give and decide which the fans would like best.
So in this part of the exam, you're going to work together to discuss which of these would be the worst or the better idea for a gift to give. You have like a mission that you need to solve, and you need to talk together about which of these options might be better. Now let's see what happens in the next stage, because I told you that this was divided into sub-stages. Let's see what happens in the next one.
Which sports do you like?
I prefer football. I love football. I am my admirers football. I watch it. I play it. I am very interested about football. I watch it from when I was child. I rise with football. Yeah.
For me is swimming. I love swimming. I really enjoy swimming. It doesn't matter if it will be on summer or on spring. I love swimming in the swimming pool, but especially on the beach. It's my favorite activity to do.
Yeah, swimming helped me sometimes to relax.
Yeah.
If I swim, that I lose my weight. I'm like flying and
Yes.
yeah, like floating in the water.
Yeah,
It's
swimming
amazing.
permits us to be relaxed.
Yeah.
Why do so many people like football?
Because everyone can watch it, and if you have one team in your like hometown or your country, he won a lot of competitions that make a lot of supporters became they have the same admirers and the same ambition about their teams. And for me it's the best sport. Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I think that football is an international sport. In every country, we can see that there is a lot of teams which playing through footballs. Yes, I agree.
Do you have a favorite sports team?
Yes, for me it's the Algerian team.
Do you agree?
Yeah, for me, I have one favorite team. It's from England, Manchester United. I love this team. I go to Old Trafford 2 times. It was amazing. Yeah.
Is it a good idea to join a fan club?
Yeah. To take in ideas and to keep discuss about our team, what we missing on some positions, or if we need to have a new players, or we discuss about the Gomers if they have like one player that they decide to have a contract with him, if he good for this position or no. Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm not for this fan club.
Why?
Because I think it's a waste of time and I don't have enough time to study, so I can't go to this kind of activities.
Thank you. That is the end of the test.
And that's it. So in this final stage of the final part of the exam, the examiner asks them some additional questions. Can you tell me what might be the difference between the questions that the examiner asked for the interview at the beginning of the exam and the questions she asked in this part at the end? What are the differences? What do you think the differences are? For example, Maria.
I think in the first, the question is more personal. And the last question is like the hobbies or what prefer the guys.
Okay. Do you agree with that, Roger?
I think in this part talks each other and two examinator about the sports favorites.
Okay. Now, what would you like to add to that, Grace? What's the difference between this part and the first part?
I think in the first part is the interview, and the two part is the tour off, and the three part is the discussion with together in the Kenya. What is the name? His name?
Mohammed. Here is
Mohammed. Yes.
Mohammed.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but yes, there is a difference between the questions in the interview and these ones. That there's a reason this is called discussion. And what you all three mentioned, you mentioned important things. There is a difference in the nature of the questions, okay? The final questions you're going to be asked are a little bit more about your opinion, okay, on general topics. In the first part of the exam, the questions are more personal about what you do in your everyday life. These questions right here at the end are about more about abstract thinking, about your opinion. There is a lot of, do you agree? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Which is going to force you to use more nuanced vocabulary. So there's one difference. And the other difference, as Roger and Grace mentioned, the questions for the interview are unidirectional, okay? So the examiner asks the questions to either Mohammed or to Kenza. Whilst in this last part of the exam, the questions were just thrown into the air. They were not directed to any particular candidate because they are the two supposed to answer. So it's like the examiner asks a question and you're supposed to answer it together with the other candidate. So it's like you're answering the question together, okay? So it's like a combination of the interview and whatever you did in at the beginning of part 3, which was the activity with the little card with the problematic, right? So that's the difference. In the part 3 of the exam changes because now you are interacting with another person. So in this part of the exam, it's extremely important to hear what the other person is saying and try to interact with that person so that you can get the conversational feel that, for example, Kenza and Mohammed were able to convey. Now, this is the entire speaking exam. It's the shortest exam of the ones you are going to take. Why don't you give me your general reaction? Do you think the exam is easy? Do you think the exam is difficult? Do you think Kenza and Mohammed did good? Did they do bad? Do you think you can do it better? What do you think? How do you feel? Why don't you tell me what's in your mind, Jasmine?
I think they are a very good job in the interview, but I think Kenza she's very nervous, but Mohammed different the different attitude, the more imagination, more vocabulary, but I think the exam is normal when we prepare for the exam. For not is difficult, but no easy. Is necessary preparing for the exam. It's very important, the preparation. That course is opportunity for the good exam, excellent exam, and obtain B1.
Yes, I agree with you. Something that you can always do to feel more comfortable, to feel less nervous, is to prepare, because when you know what's going to happen, you are not so scared. If you know, okay, well, this was the interview, now they are going to do the thing with the pictures, and you know what to do there, now that you know what to do, you feel a little bit better because you know what's going to happen. So understanding the exam always helps you feel better. And I also agree that your attitude towards the exam, try to go, even if you don't feel like it, try to go there with a smile, try to speak with a loud voice, because sometimes those little things can help you feel more comfortable, okay? But if if you cross your arms, and you speak like really softly, you are not going to give the same confident image that, for example, Mohammed displayed instead of Kenya. So yes, preparing and having a good attitude towards the exam always help. What do you think about this, Marcos? Do you agree? Is there anything else you would like to add? Do you think the exam overall is easy? Is it difficult?
Yes, I agree, because I think the exam is easy for the person has be prepared. Uh, we need a more vocabulary and more fluency and more grammar because it's very important connect the words for se me fue for next the words.
Yes, I agree with you that grammar and vocabulary are important, and we are going to practice those. Don't worry. But normally we practice that when we start talking about the writing exam. As I mentioned yesterday, on Monday, for the speaking exam, we just need to have a really good fluency. If we have a really good fluency, we are going to be able to show the vocabulary and grammar we know without any issues. But don't worry, the next week, when we start covering the writing exam, we are going to do a lot of vocabulary and grammar specific activities that are also going to help us in our speaking, okay? And why don't you tell me, Brittany, how you feel about the exam? Do you think Mohammed and Kenza did a good job, Brittany? Well, Brittany's feeling a little bit under the weather. She's a little sick, so I understand she might not be able to participate. So how about you, Angie? Do you think that Mohammed and Kenza did a good job?
Yes, I think that they are a good job. So I think that if you speak so slow, you can put in order your ideas. So for me, I think that it's not necessary to speak faster. That if you want to express something, you need to speak slow, and in this case, you can put in order what do you say in this case.
Yeah, you raised a really good point. Fluency is about speed, but not about having a fast speed, but rather a comfortable speed. And sometimes you have more control of what you say if you speak calmly and at a more slower speed, okay? So yes, it's not about speaking fast, and sometimes speaking slow can help you think about what you say and can help you with those which don't sound so good, right? Sometimes when you talk slowly and really think about what you're going to say and take pauses sometimes when needed, you can eliminate those little that have a bad impact on your fluency. So yes, I agree with you. Fluency is not about being fast. I agree completely. So look, I'm going to share with you a PDF that I need you to read by Friday, okay? It's not going to take you that much time. It's just that I need you to prepare for what we are going to do the next Friday. So give me 1 second. So let me send it to you here in the chat. There it is. And let me show you what I'm sharing with you. So I'm sharing a set of different pictures for the long term. We have worked with those, with some of them, sorry. And the rest that we didn't touch today, we are going to cover tomorrow. Sorry. So you can anticipate about what we are going to be doing tomorrow. You can look at the pictures, think about what you could say. Not necessarily write it. If you want to write it, you can write it, but just try to think about it. What could I say about each of these pictures? And also think about what we are going to do tomorrow regarding part 3, which is right here in the second half of this document. You're going to see several of these little, we call these spider charts for the part 3 of the exam. So remember, the element which is here in the circle is the problem you need to solve, okay? Let me just highlight it. Este es el problema que tienes que resolver con tu compañero. Esta es la situación. Aquí van a tener que interpretarlo un poquito porque no está el guión donde te dicen exactamente cuál es el problema. Pero aquí el problema es, these people are on a really long journey and they want to entertain themselves. They don't want to be bored. So, vamos a discutir las ideas de qué cosas podrían hacer para no aburrirse tanto, por ejemplo. Pero es así como funciona. El elemento central es el problema que tú tienes que resolver y las imágenes que están alrededor del satélite son las posibles soluciones. So I want you to take a look at them and think about what you could say. Because on Friday, we are going to be working with these pictures, okay? So you can have some time to prepare. So on Friday, you can have with that interesting vocabulary that you're going to practice on your own, okay? So there are several here. Try to take a look at all of them. All right, so you have any questions regarding this? Is it clear what you're going to do with this?
No question.
No, I don't
Okay,
have
and great. And do you have questions regarding anything else about what we did today, about the course? Anything on your mind?
I have a question, but
Tell
not of
me.
the class.
Tell me, Marcos.
On the platform, we have some tests to practice. My question is when we should do them.
Well, ideally, you're going to be working with that in the same rhythm we are going with the course. So for example, in this week, we are covering the speaking exam. So you are going to do the activities related to the speaking exam in the platform. Now, if you feel that in the following weeks, your personal schedule is going to get a lot busier, if you feel that it's going to be more difficult in the coming weeks for you, you can start working with that. There's no problem, okay? You can freely take a look at what's there. But this week, the minimum, only take a look at the speaking section of the course, okay?
Thank you.
And you too. Thank you for the question. Angie wanted to say something.
No, nothing. Thank you.
All right. Anything else you would like to add? Okay, so if you don't have any further questions, I'm going to thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for what you did today. I hope this session was useful to you, and I hope to see you again the next Friday to continue, okay? So have a great Wednesday night. I'll see you guys on Friday, okay? Goodbye.
See you.